ואלה שמות בני ישראל הבאים מצרימה וכו', and these are the names of the sons of Israel coming to Mitzrayim and so forth. B'rabos lech lecha, Suf Parsha Mem, Avraham ksiv. By Avram it says, Kevo Avram. When Avram came, Ubi Yisrael ksiv, ve'ela shemos b'nei Yisrael haba'im Mitzrayma. So it doesn't say kishabo. It's a different kind of lashon. Kevo Avram Mitzrayma and haba'im Mitzrayma. Yesh lomar kivo yesh bo beis shorashim. You can say because the word bo has two roots. Aleph lashon bia. One is the language of coming, ve'echad lashon tvuah, and one is the language of produce. V'hainu shetzmichas hatvuah zeu biyasa lechalal pri, and that is that the growth of the fruit, the growth of the produce, that's its coming to be a fruit. Tvuah, kevoah. Al derech zachar ba'al olam v'dor ba, like it says that when you have a new male that's born, so it signifies the new generation that's come. Kach tzmichas hapri nikra ba, so too the growth of the fruit is called that it has come. V'inyan tavua, and that's the concept of produce, meaning it's tavo. It's from the language of to come. The produce is what has come out, what has come. Ube Shin Vav Yud Perush Lefi Shazera Mevi Pri Michael Bidmuso B'Tzalmo. So in this Sefer Shin Vav Yud explains that the seed brings produce of fruit, brings a fruit Pri Michael, a fruit that you eat in its likeness and in its image. The meaning to say that the seed is specifically this kind of seed and not that kind of seed. So it brings out from the seed. So that's another parish in Tfuah. Vini Targum Tfuah Alalta. Now the Aramaic translation of Tfuah is Alalta. Begemara Rish Perek Chesed Nedarim. Daf Nun Hey Amud Aleph Perush Aran. So the Ran explains that Rabbeinu Nisim Alalta Lashon Bia v'Hachnasa v'Shevach. That Alalta is from the language of coming and bringing in and growth and praise. So if that's the case, so the word Alalta also means like high ayel. How will he come? La'ol is to come into something, to lachnis. So that's what Alalta means, that which you gather in. So that's what Tvuah means, to come. Al derech kiva oreich, like it says that your light has come. Kumi ori kiva oreich. Gam v'nasna ha'aretz yivula, so too it says that the earth will give its produce. Gamkin Alalta, it's also Yevula is a language of Alalta, of coming out. Ki Yevul Gamkin Lashon Hava, because the word Yevul also is from the language of to come out. Kumo uvisach nunim ovileim, like it says, and with supplications I will conduct them. Yom Yelamar Aleph Ches. Like lehovil means to bring or to conduct. Lechayovilu melachim shai, to you we will bring forth kings their gifts. Tilem lamed ches lamed v'zeu nimshach l'yidei b'yaset chila ba'aretz b'zriya v'rikavon, and this is through first bringing it into the earth by sowing the seed and it's rotting. Kain inyan bias Avraham leMitzrayim. So to here you have this concept of Avram going down to Mitzrayim. Shezeu Yerida that this is a descent. And then afterwards you have in the opposite, opposingly, that Avram came up from Mitzrayim. So you have this Havav Achnasa, like Tfuah. Shehayalo Aliyah Mamash, that he truly had an elevation. That he purified the tree of knowledge of good and bad. And you had this greatness of light that comes from the darkness that he came from Mitzrayim. So Kivu Avram Mitzrayim seems to be a lashon of Tfuah. So it says, come and see. Chava came, Asas Sarah, and then Sarah came, V'nachsas v'salkas, and came down and went up, V'lo istavkas ba, and did not cleave to the klippas l'chora. Kama da'asamras v'yal Avram Mitzrayim chulu, like it says that Avraham came up from Mitzrayim. So they juxtapose Chava who sinned with Sarah who didn't in the Zohar. V'chein be'Yisrael, Abayim Mitzrayim, also to Yisrael when we came down to Mitzrayim, Kemoshikos of Abayim Yashresh Yaakov, like it says that they're coming down to take root. Yaakov came down to Mitzrayim to take root. And the end is Yatzisu Farach Yisrael. The Israel is the produce from that. So that's also they're coming down to Mitzrayim of Yisrael. Is a language of planting. That is that they come going down to Mitzrayim. It's a concept of taking root of the produce in the earth. And then afterwards, this reaches the result that it flowers, it buds and flowers and so forth. And it says by Israel, and I will lift you up and so forth. Kamalo, meaning to say that similar to Avraham, who Vayal, that he came up from Mitzrayim. Vayal Avram in Mitzrayim. So too it says by Bnei Israel, and then it says B'shalach Paro Chulu, that Paro sent and so forth. Shalachai Chulu, like in Shirashim it says Shalachai Pardes Rimonim, that your offshoots, your sprouts, are in a pomegranate orchard and so forth. So that's a language of growth and sprouting, like Yatzitzu Farach. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, B'shalach Baruch Hu Shalachai Chulu Meram L'Drash Suzal B'Shmos Rabba Parsha Chaf Hey. He says that there's a medrash that he's hinting to here. Ach inyan kevu Avram Mitzrayim habai Mitzrayim, about the concept of Avram going down to Mitzrayim, and the concept of where it says that Bnei Israel were coming down to Mitzrayim by the sons of Yisrael. Al derech bo atachulu el teva, like it says, come you by Noach to the teva. Ki savo el haaretz, when you come to the land. Balakan v'salmudo biyado, and someone who comes here and their Torah study, their Talmud is in their hand. Mulukutei Torah Parshas Bahar Kuf Ches Amud Aleph in Yichud Ubiyah. It's a concept of union and intercourse. So the Rebbe says on the bottom, Parshas Bahar Mulukutei Torah Hu Daled Mem. Maybe Daf Mem Ukinir Tzarech Lios Kan Parshas Bahar Al Pi Masha Kasas B'Zor Cheli Gimel Kuf Ches Amud Aleph. At any rate, so he says it has to be Parshas Bahar according to the Zohar Kadosh. Val derech zeh who in mavo be'er, and the Mamer says, and similarly is the idea of the entrance to the well. And the bottom it says, what does it mean mavo be'er? It seems that the intention is to what our sages said in Bereshis Rabbah, Parshas Samach Yudale, Kasuv Zeh, when explaining this pasuk. Shehalach Yitzchak lahavi is Hagar leAvraham, that Yitzchak went to bring Hagar to Avraham. So Yitzchak ba minvo be'er l'chayroi or whatever. So it's mavo, it's bringing. It's also a concept of yichud and chasana, to bring back Hagar to wed. So it says there that the be'er lechai, so that's a concept of yichud as well, because be'er refers to the well, refers to the Shechina, the feminine aspect, and lechai, that's chai ha'olamim, that's the concept of yisod, the masculine aspect, the life of the world. V'yitzchak garam yichud ha'elyon, and Yitzchak going to get Hagar and so forth in this whole concept is causing the supernal union between the Shechina and chai ha'olamim. V'yayin b'zeh b'sof Sefer Ohr Hatorah Shemos. Look what it's brought about this in Ohr Hatorah Shemos. Back in the Mamer, so in Bo'ela Teva, and similarly it's the concept of by Noach coming to the Teva, ki ha-Teva hu Malchus Bina, because the Teva is the feminine aspect of Malchus, or Bina v'Noach Yisod Ziran Pin, or Yisod the Abba, and Noach refers to the concept of Yisod of Ziran Pin, or the sort of Abba, Nahamislabishba, that's enclosed within the feminine, within the mother, within Bina. So too it says in Tresar, and who can prepare for the day of his coming. So the Rebbe says on the bottom, B'chinas Gilu Yichud or Ein Sof Lamata, it's a concept of revelation and union of the infinite light down below, because Malachi talks about the Gilui Mashiach and the coming of Gilui Eliyahu and the coming of Mashiach. Im Gein Eich Shaykh Kain Be'inyan Kavo Avram. If so, what does this have to do with the concept of Avram coming down? So to the concept of going down to Mitzrayim. It's not a concept of Yichud and Bia, going down to Mitzrayim. It's not a Yichud Elyon. Tzarech Lomar, we must say, Mashikazu Boel Paro, or B'tzarech Lahavin, Mashikazu Boel Paro. Also, we need to understand what it says. Come to Paro, that if that's also a concept of Yichud or Bia, or even produce. So it says over there, it should have said go. Why does it say come? And so forth. Because in order to purify the tree of knowledge of good and bad, and to elevate it, you first have to go down and to go to its place, to its to the likeness of that thing that you're going to elevate it. You have to, so to speak, be mislabish, and similar to the idea of the enclothment of the divine soul to purify the animal soul, the goof and the body. It's specifically to it going down in a level, from its level. And that it says on the bottom, it more properly, grammatically should have said, from going down from its level, and not just from a level. And to be and encloses itself within it, within the animal soul and the body. That the animalistic soul encloses truly the divine soul, and they truly unite Therefore, it's called as they came down to Mitzrayim. It's a concept of union in order to be mislabish truly in the mata in order to elevate it. Look what's brought in Likutei Torah, and that at the time when Israel prefaced, we will listen. What it asks about this descent. And this is the idea of when your sons ask you and so forth, Al Shem, Achakach, and Shem, look over there. Achakach Ra'isi B'Rabos Rish Parshas Shemos. And afterwards I saw in Medrash Rabbah, in the beginning of Shemos, Al Pasuk Abayim, on this verse, and those that are coming down, Ki V'chi Hayom Ba'im Chulu. So it says in present tense, they're coming down. And so the Medrash asks, are they coming down now? Are they coming down now? I gave unto them a thing to carry. Therefore it says, the ones who are coming down, as if on that day they went into Mitzrayim. Maybe it's referring to during the time of Golos, because they had this yoke of exile. Therefore, it was as if they came down into exile that very day. Nishma de Mefarash Abayim. So it seems to imply that what does it mean that they came? Shenichnasu ba'ol hashibud, that they came into the yoke of the servitude. So it's an entrance. And similarly, you can explain what it says when Avraham came in and so forth. When Avraham came to enter that kind of yoke of Egypt. And this is similar to, this can be compared to sowing the produce inside the earth. Memnun Chaf. It's an abbreviation, and the Rebbe says in the bottom, that this word is not clear in the handwritten. And maybe the one who wrote it down made a mistake. That because of this, or on this, Mamer, it says, that I sowed you into the earth and so forth. That this was a descent, a process of servitude and so forth, I guess like the rotting of the seed. And that but the purpose was to add on to them. It says Ve'ela Shemos. It says whenever it says Ve'ela, it adds on to the previous. That the point is to add on. The whole descent was the concept of Ve'ela, of to add on. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, that this is the purpose of this is in order to add to them. This hints to what our sages said in Psachim, that it brings this drasha on Ve'ela Mosif, or that the concept of that Israel was only placed in exile, sent in exile in order to Lohosif Aleim Gerim, to add on to them. That's for a Hosafa. And that it's specifically through this we're able to purify what fell down in the breaking of the vessels with this idea that the shell or the peel comes before the fruit and so forth. I guess by purifying the fruit, by purifying the peel, you get to the fruit. Similar to the idea of the seed, the hard seed comes before the sprouting of the produce. like it's brought in the Mamer b'Shalach, v'ayim ha'shakaz b'dibur ha'maschil mayim rabim b'torah Parshas Noach Beis Rabo, so ish Parshas Toldos Daf Samech Tes Beis. It brings in Medrash Shabbat Toldos Yitzchak Shmo Yisrael. Yitzchak's name is Yisrael. Sheneamar, like it says, Ve'ele Shemos b'nei Yisrael, that these are the names of the sons of Yisrael. Habaim Mitzrayim es Yaakov, coming down to Mitzrayim, and who are they? Yaakov. V'Tzaloma Dinikra Yaakov b'chlal b'nei Yisrael, from the fact, that is to say, that from the fact that Yaakov is from this amongst the sons of Israel, Al Korchach the Perish Yisrael Hainu Yitzchak, we must say that when it says Yisrael here, it refers to Yitzchak. Hainu ki Yisrael hu zeranpin. And that is because Israel is the concept of Zah, ki bechinas ki sarisa im Elokim, the concept of that you battled, you fought with, the concept of Elokim, you ruled over it, and it says, the Rebbe says on the bottom, bechinas ki sarisa, the concept of that you fought and ruled. Ki nira min Ramaz l'Zohar Chelik Aleph Kuf Mem Daled Beis. The Mefarish, it seems that this is hinting to what it says in Zohar Chelik Aleph, that it explains there, that you ruled over to unite and to connect with Elokim, together with the concept of Elokim, with the unification and the connection of the sun and the moon, meaning to say it was a yichud. That's what Kisari Saim Elokim. That it's a concept of yichud with Elokim. V'Yitzchak hu gvura d'zah, and meaning, so Yitzchak is the concept of gvura. So if we have a concept of union with Elokim, ruling over Elokim, who was the one that ruled over it, who was the one who's the sar of Elokim, that's Yitzchak who's gvura d'zah. The Ziran Pin V'Shapir Nikra Yisrael, so it makes sense to call him Yisrael, because he was Sarisayim Elokim, and Yisrael is the concept of ruling over Elokim. V'Nikrakan Yisrael Hashem Yitzchak, and here he's called Yisrael specifically on the name of Yitzchak, Lihiyos, Ki HaYarida B'Golus, Zeu Mitzad Midas Hadin, because the descent into exile comes from the attribute of judgment. Zeu B'nei Yisrael Habayim Chulu, and this is what it says, the sons of Israel coming down. That they have this union, this yichud with Elokim, or the sowing of the seeds. That Bnei Israel, that means Yitzchak's sowing of the seeds. And the sprouting of this, the produce from the sowing, is like we say in the time to come, we'll say to Yitzchak that you are our father. Like the pasuk says, and the Rebbe says on the bottom, that this is explained in Torah Ohr told us. This idea that specifically Davka the Midas Hadin, that's elevated, the strength of it is when you elevate that, that's what's going to be revealed in the time to come. That that's when these strictnesses and the judgments will be elevated through the growth and flowering, through the growth from this sowing of the seed, chulu and so forth. Parshas Shemos, Ve'ele Shemos b'nei Yisrael, and this is what it says in Medrash Rabbah in the beginning of Parshas Shemos, and these are the names of the sons of Israel. Hadau d'chsiv, like it's written, V'ohavo shucharo musar, that the loved one, so it says Chosech Shivto Sonei Bno, the one who holds back the staff, the stick, hates his son. V'avo shicharo musar, and the one who loves him tells him rebuke. Musar avicha, and that's the rebuke of your father. Shema b'ni musar avicha, hinu gvuros ta'aba, that's the strengths of Abba, a revelation of Chochmah. So that's why it connects the concept of these are the names of the sons of Israel with rebuke from the father, that going down into exile is connected with Midas Hadin, Like we said, that Bnei Israel refers to Yitzchak here. So that's the strictnesses of Abba, of the father, the rebuke of the father. Gimel, Berabos Reish Parshas, in Midrash Rabbah, the beginning of the Parsha, it says Ele Pasal Chulu, that these, the fact that it says these, it nullifies the previous ones, and so forth. Ve'ele, when it says and with a vav and these, Mosif Chulu, so it adds. So it says Ve'ele Shemos Chulu. I remind me Zebrabos Reish Parshas Ve'ele Hamishpatim. Look what it's brought about. This idea in Midrash Rabbah, when it says Ve'ele Hamishpatim, that and these are the laws and so forth. But it says at length about this, that these nullify the previous. Mamer and the explanation what the Zohar says, Ele told us Noach that these are the offspring of Noach, nullifying the previous generations. And the Rebbe says on the bottom, that this explanation in the Zohar is brought in Ohr Hatorah in the beginning of Parshas Noach. Because the Zohar Vayichi, Darfish Chav Zayin and Beis Binyan Ele. What's brought in Zohar Vayichi about the concept of these. Ele Lokacha Israel, how you have this concept of these are your gods, Israel. To nullify the previous Chas v'Shalom Alkain. Ele de Kedusha Pasal Es Chulu, therefore the Ele in holiness nullifies the previous as well. Aval ve'ele mosif, but when you have a ve'ele, so it adds hainu tosefes, or it's an extra light. So sometimes you need an ele to nullify the negative, because if you have a previous negative, so you say ele, these are the ones. We don't want the previous ones, only these. But when you have something positive beforehand, so you're mosif and you say ve'ele, an extra light. And this is through the vav of the word ve'ele, kinyan ve'hanora, like the concept and the awesome. When you have chesed v'ur tiferes, and the vav hints to the idea of drawing down from even higher, because it's the bria chatichun and so forth. And the Rebbe brings on the bottom, kinyan ve'hanora reitora orish Parshas Noach, l'kutei Torah Parshas Vayeschanan, dibura maskil ve'yadaita ashini perik beis ve'od. This idea of the vav adds further. It's mosif. Vainuki ele toldos hashamayim v'ha'aretz, that says that it says these are the offsprings of the heavens and the earth. Zeu nimshach or hanimshach lahachios olamos. So you draw this down from. That's drawn down from the light to enliven world. She'ein bo tosefes v'riboy, that doesn't have the extra multitude and so forth. So because it says ele and not ve'ele. But in this concept of standing and on one level, aval ve'ele mosif, when it says and these, it adds nimshach yichud pnimi, so it's adding, it's drawing down an inner union to Abba ve'ima, of the mother and father, lohosifor, to add light, ad ein ketz, infinitely. Like I guess the purpose of creation is hinted to in Ve'ela Shemos Bnei Israel. Vayichi b'dibur hamaskil osri legafen shebechina harishona nimshach b'mechinas v'shimcha kadosh. Aval b'china habei zeu mikadshish mechachulu. So the first concept is drawn down from, and your name is holy. So your name is already holy. Your name is holy. That's its level. But the second level is mikadshish mechachu, that we sanctify your name. We bring extra kedusha to the name. So that's another level of drawing down the holiness. So that's a higher level.